Welcome to our Devos, and thank you for joining us on Christmas week. We are so privileged to have a chance to continue to celebrate Jesus' presence. And when I mean his presence, not just his with us, but the presence that Christmas brings as a result of who Jesus is. Now, I'm going to start this off with a little bit of an anecdote, a little story. One of my greatest regrets growing up is that I never got to go to a Michael Jackson concert. And I know Michael Jackson, weird things, all that stuff. We don't want to get into that. But you know, if you watch a Michael Jackson concert, if you go online and you see footage, like it was just like a whole other type of experience. And I remember when I was younger thinking, you know, when I get old enough and when I have a little bit of money, you know, I was a teenager at this point, I'm thinking, I'm going to get a ticket and go to see Michael Jackson. And you wonder, like, why do people go to concerts? Well, a lot of times it's because they want to see the artists, like, actually there. They want to see the artist in the flesh, that being in that presence. Of course, you have digital. Of course, you have the internet. You have all that. But just being close by, there's something unique about that experience. Now, I'm going to do one better for you when we look at Christmas. The whole entire world, or I should say specifically at this time, the Jewish folks had anticipated what it would be like to actually have a connection to God. They worshiped him. God visited through various means. And if you look at the way God would allow his presence to be worshiped, it would be through the temple. We see different ways that God would show himself. But there was never a time when you were in the same room, like the way, and I talked about this on Sunday, the way that you had to go to approach God in the Old Testament was so rigorous. But Christmas is where we see Christmas bringing God in the flesh. Christmas is where God comes near and visits, like God himself. If you think of the person that you admire most on the earth, I'm not talking about Jesus, but I'm talking about like an earthly celebrity, or maybe like somebody that you'd like to meet, or some old hero that you wish was alive. Nothing compares to the idea that God visited humanity in the flesh, that he took upon himself human flesh. And we see in John chapter 1, verse 14, he sums it up, the Gospel of John. And he says that the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory. Glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. He says, he became flesh and dwelt among us. God is with us. God is here. And this is revolutionary. It is amazing to think that at a time in human history, God walked around on this planet for decades in the flesh. You could walk up to him, touch his hand. You could sit next to him. That you could see what he looks like. That you could have an interaction with him where you're looking face to face. This is Jesus. And Christmas reminds us of just the reality of the personhood of God. And so when we come to Christmas, we don't come to Christmas thinking about an event that happened in history. No. We think about the fact that God, the eternal God who is always God from the beginning, always will be God, nothing has changed, has chosen to invade human history with his presence. And that Christmas is a reminder of that intervention. It's a celebration. It's an opportunity for us to have that experience. And to realize that the Holy Spirit himself is God, and because of Jesus, we can dwell within his presence forever.